I'm SmartBall. This is Out to Lunch. And I didn't really expect to have to play this, but I volunteered last night to fill a bit of a gap. So I'm not terribly in practice, or in practice at all, but we're going to do our best to try and beat the game here. 3, 2, 1, go. So, in this game, you're a little chef. There's a net and a few weapons. The object of the game is to collect as many ingredients you have here throughout the map. Right now in this stage it's 7. It's a static amount for each level. It's the same every time. Then you throw them in the cage and a door appears. There are certain warps, such as this one, that, well, this one just skips the whole first world, so, not bad. So, a big difficulty for this game is just being able to traverse the maps. Some walls are solid, some walls are, not. Some walls are supposed to be solid, and they're not. So, it's just a matter of figuring out where to go, where your ingredients are, how many you need, and most importantly, just reacting to enemy patterns. There are some enemies in this game. We haven't really seen any yet. We're going to see one for the first time in the next level. Not only do the enemies hurt you, they take away your life count, but they also contaminate the food, such that the food will take away your life count as well. So we're going to go down here, grab this net, and use these teleporters to get back up to the top. And hope... well, everything's contaminated, so you can't capture something that's contaminated, so you have to kind of wait it out. It's a pretty random game, as far as speedrunning goes anyways. This egg's about to turn back to normal. So, as is this one. Alright, I need 1 or 2 more from up here. This is the other enemy that's been contaminating the rest of the map here. Okay, tomatoes good. I think we got plenty. But sometimes it's tough to keep track of how many you have, just because some get contaminated, so you're not grabbing the same ones every time. And if you get stunned, either 1 or 2 of them pop out and escape. This is a tough bounce here. If you could bounce off of enemies and food, but the amount of height you get is, I wouldn't say random, but very difficult to control. You can kind of, once you get a feel for the game, you can kind of learn how they work. I would recommend this game casually to anyone, really. Just don't expect to beat it. It's been pretty tame so far, besides that last level. But it ramps up in difficulty quite a lot, especially in the last world. You have 6 countries, each with 8 levels. We skip a bunch of them. We're actually about to skip a couple right now, because there's a warp inside this wall. But there's 6 countries, 8 levels apiece, so 48 levels. And we start with Switzerland, which we've already completed in, I don't know, about 30 seconds. And then we go into Greece here. And then we head over to the West Indies. Missed the jump. And then Mexico, China, and then we wrap it up with France. So the enemy, what really makes this difficult is the enemies. Where this guy was pretty random, and if he spots you, he is very aggressive. All the enemies are, really. Alright, that's our warp. We have to find a hidden spring, which is right here. If a lot of this run is just knowing where everything is. Just having it memorized, really, and having played it a lot. West Indies is, in my opinion, one of the harder worlds, but we'll get through it. Probably. Oh boy. So we lost that egg. We kind of really want that egg. And we just lost our first life. Oh boy. Oh my goodness, please. You know what? We're just gonna grab this mushroom instead, because it's about to get contaminated. Oh boy. And that... Come on. The controls in this are very slippery, and they're kind of, I don't know, just not good in general. Alright, he's gone. Hopefully you're... Yeah, we only had one shot at that, really. If well, I had 2 shots. If I jumped on him again, he would have died. If you bounce on the food twice when it's contaminated, it dies, and it does not respawn. So, really you can... Oh my goodness. This guy is just going and running its course, huh? You can leave a level uncompletable if you kill too much of the food. Oh my goodness. Please get in the net. Hitboxes in this game are also very questionable, but, you know, we do our best. Okay, this stuff should be coming back to life now. I kind of lost track. Again, you don't grab the same items every time. I should have enough with these 2. Oh, I have 1 extra. Sometimes it's good to get extra anyways. There are glitches that happen in this game where sometimes stuff will pop out of the cage. Oh, we actually have to rush up here to a warp. Most warps just appear at the start of the level, and you have to just rush to the door. Get in the door before the warp expires. Some of them are really tight, and then some of them are pretty generous. Like the first one I did, I mean, there are other kinds of warps. Like the first one I did, you have to complete the level quickly enough. Oh man, I get nervous when the mushroom is above me. Sometimes he's not. Sometimes he is. This time he is. Oh, he went back up. Because of that. That's why the mushroom makes me nervous. Boy, oh boy. Yeah, I don't know what I was gonna do about that. Oh, please get over here. Thank goodness. Okay. This has not been going the best, but it's to be expected. I haven't really been practicing this. I didn't really expect to be playing this today until last night. Hopefully that's 8. Yeah, that's 8. Okay, so this level, there's a new item in here. It's going to be introduced. It's a bomb. Well, I missed it, so I didn't jump in time. So we're going to try without the bomb. But we certainly need to kill him, or else he's going to contaminate everything. The bomb just stuns everything on the map for, I don't know, 10, 15 seconds. It's pretty handy in some levels. Here and grab the egg. Oh, you're down here now. Great. Another thing, you may have heard it a couple of times. There's a jingle sometimes in some levels. As soon as I deposit, you'll hear it in just a moment. That's Chef Noir spawning. He runs around the map and then eventually opens your cage. You can defeat him with flour or fire or this wooden spoon. The wooden spoon is completely useless. But okay, this level you kind of need to manipulate the enemies as best you could here. And you definitely need to kill that bug or else the level's probably not going to be beatable. Because by the time you grab everything down here and grab the net down here, the bug will have contaminated basically everything on the map. And there's only one extra food item here. You need 8, and there's only 9 on the map. So if you kill 2 of them, the level is unbeatable. Nice fall. Oh boy. I'm gonna try and stun him because if he spots you, he'll run away from you and he'll fall back down. Spring jump height is a little finicky. And then everyone's favorite thing, invisible platforms. We're gonna definitely grab that one up there. Because we've died a few times already. And this is the halfway point of the game. Not the run, but the game. France has no warps, so you have to do all 8 levels of France. This is a bonus game here where you can accumulate points, and there's an extra life at the end of it if you can manage to actually get to the end of it. Every 10,000 points is an extra life. And then, you know, there are other lives hidden throughout everywhere. That door is pretty finicky, actually. I'm grateful that I got in first try. We need to definitely kill you first off. Rush down, grab our net. I think this is the highest count of any level. You need 11 items. There's quite a few though. There's at least 14. So it's not too hard. As long as you defeat that yellow blob first off. There's also this purple plant here that's... You saw it stunning the ingredients, sort of. It'll stun you too and knock any ingredients you have out. Oh boy. That should be more than enough. That should be 12. We're gonna kill him. Deposit. And there's an extra life hidden behind here. So we'll grab it since I'm out of practice. A lot of these lives I wouldn't normally get. Like there's a way to circumvent the first live I got in the West Indies too, or at the end of the West Indies. But setting like this, a no reset run, I'm grabbing those lives. Oops. There are hidden springs everywhere. Most of them are at angles. There's one right here, and there's one in there which pops you way up to a warp. You can actually start moving before the map even loads, so I often do that. I just grabbed my... I think it's my first invincibility of the run. That's one thing that's actually kind of generous in this game, these invincibilities. You're invincible for quite a long time. Okay. Alright, so we accidentally killed that potato. So I need to go down and grab this pepper. We were actually going to sit there and wait for the potato to come back and be healthy again, but we don't have the time. And we accidentally killed it, so we can't. This invincibility is most useful for this part because these spike patterns are random. There's no telling when the spikes are going to appear, and they'll knock 2 of your ingredients out, typically, and then you're, you know, rummaging around to get them off of the spikes. The reason we didn't grab this pepper up here is because you can use him to bounce off of and get the door early. There's invisible platforms you're intended to take up there, but in this case, we're gonna skip that. This level's kind of annoying, but not too bad. We're gonna, you have to go grab a few ingredients on this side and then go down to the other side to grab them there. There are a couple tight jumps in here. This one in particular. We got it. That wasn't too bad, though. And we don't want to deposit the ingredients yet, or else the Chef Lenoir will appear. We're gonna get rid of that potato and bacteria. But yeah, Chef Lenoir will appear and just he'll beat you over to your cage and release all of your ingredients that you've collected so far. So you really want to hold off on depositing. That is 7. It's a bit of a repetitive game in a sense, but especially if you're, you know, good at it. But if you're not practiced at it, it's very difficult. Trust me. If you don't know where everything is, it's just... I remember watching Darbian try to beat this game, and he had a lot of trouble. He went warpless, though, so it was a bit harder. When I was first learning the game, I actually found warpless to be easier because there were more extra lives strewn about, but nowadays it's not too bad. I've played it enough to actually use that egg. That's actually one of the tightest warps in the game if you do it the intended way, but obviously I don't, so it's not. Oh boy. That's fine. Just don't wake up. Don't let him wake up. Okay. This level, you're basically in a maze. A lot of these ceilings are real. A lot of them are false. Oh, that was 5, actually. If you don't kill that yellow bacteria quickly, he's going to contaminate everything on the map before you can even get to it. So, you have to grab the net and get as close to it as you could, because if it sees you instead of an ingredient, it'll go after you. And the yellow thing is actually the only enemy that doesn't kill you. It doesn't take a life away if you get hit by it. It just reverses your controls. So, it's one of the better enemies in a sense, but it's also brutal because it's still contaminating everything else on the map. Ugh. Alright. This one we need 10. There's actually a very tight jump on this level too. We're gonna watch him not know how to deal with the orange platforms. Okay, I'm gonna forget that guy right now. He's too close to the edge for me to get him. Yeah, the enemy AI does not know how to deal with the orange disappearing platforms. They basically freeze up. That jump's tight. You actually have to do it twice typically. You're supposed to go through a teleporter to go up there, but if you jump off the spring right, there we go. If you jump off the spring right, you can reach the top there. This is the tightest. This is the actual tightest warp in the game, because we have to take the intended route here. The door disappears when the timer hits 127. So if I got stunned there one more time, I was not making it. And I would have had to just reset the level. That skips like 3 or 4 different levels. No bonus. The bonuses are pretty nice if you get a good one. Like the lemon's good. The lemon gives you a random amount of points. It's usually upwards of like 30,000, which is 3 1-ups. But now onto the hardest levels, the French ones. A lot of tight jumps, a lot of enemies. A lot of springs. Okay, well he's behaving right now. Usually I don't have to deal with that purple bacteria until later though. Oh, I don't like when he falls. Oh, he's actually... We're gonna kill this egg because sometimes it can cause issues. Alright, so we're at 2, 3. We'll go under the onion. 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm actually grabbing a 9th here because I've had several instances where this bacteria has contaminated one on its way down and has caused it to not count. I'm a little lower on lives than I would like to be, but really not in that bad a shape. Alright. Get these guys out of the way. This has the hardest jump in the game this level here. It's right at the end, and if you miss it, you lose upwards of 20 seconds. Okay, so we have 2 so far. There's also another inconvenience of this level, is if I get stunned up here and lose a couple of my ingredients, there's typically too much. Okay, I caught a few, so we're fine. If you get stunned right away up there, which is very possible, sometimes you go up there and everything's just already contaminated. I don't think I need these guys. I'll grab the egg though. Okay, sorry. I'm just a little focused. So if you go up there and get stunned right away, there's too much stuff on the map, and they just start despawning. And they'll pop back up where they originally spawn. But if you catch something while it's despawning, it counts as a catch. But as you release it into the cage, it despawns back to its original spot. So it can be very finicky. And okay, here's the jump. Oh, we made it first try. I think that jumps under 3 frames. It's a very tight window, and I'm very relieved I got it. Get stunned there intentionally. I have to lure that mushroom down. It's actually kind of important to do so. We're getting another new item in this level. You're not going to see it because it's hidden behind a wall, but you're going to hear me collect it. It's a golden net. It's a different net than what we've been using. The difference with the golden net is it immediately deposits whatever you catch into the cage. So as I grab things, you could see that my count goes down. The reason I had to lure that mushroom down there, if I had to go up there and, collect stuff, collect the mushroom, usually it's pretty difficult to make this cycle. I actually did pretty well down there that time, so I had a little time to futz around, but if you're dependent upon these platform cycles. You're locked into them really to progress. I actually really like where that bacteria is right now. Usually that purple bacteria that's right under me now is right in here, and it had contaminated those 2 items that I just collected, but that's not the case this time. There's actually an extra life hidden right behind the door there, so we just got an extra life too. I think we're near 20,000 points, sort of. The tubes. This level, there's the teleport on the bottom, and it's kind of just like a game of Plinko. You got to go down and collect stuff on your way down. There are ways of clipping through, but sometimes they're contaminated, sometimes they're not when you do so. So, I need to kill you people. Okay. Alright. Usually this is the better one to clip through. Yes, because you're not contaminated. Then if I clip through here... Nah, I didn't. If I clip through there, it saves me from going up and down once more. As soon as you hear the flick when you teleport, you can start moving immediately. So I walk off that platform and already start moving down and lining myself up to get to the next tube that I need to go down. Oh no. I killed the onion, didn't I? I do not want to kill the onion. I want to kill this this guy here. We're gonna get one bounce at this. We got it. Okay. That bounce is actually kind of tough. And you have to use a contaminated enemy to do so, because that's all that's available at the time. There's invincibility hidden there, though. That saves, like, I think 10 to 15 seconds getting that bounce, because you could get down here earlier. I should have enough with that onion there. Nope, we are one short. I must have missed one along the way, or it must have gotten contaminated or something. That's right, usually I get the potato or the onion up here. Yeah, we'll grab the onion. Potato's still contaminated. That's a bummer, but not a huge deal. We're closing in on the last few levels. There's 3 more after this. Oh, we're actually gonna get an extra life right there for 20,000 points. This, in my opinion, is the last hard level. When I first started playing this and was just trying to beat it casually, this was the major roadblock for me. This level here, I've gotten a lot better at it since and can usually beat it. But first things first, we have to kill these enemies, especially that yellow guy, or else he's going to contaminate everything, as is, you know. Those jumps are actually pretty tricky with how the physics are. Not to sound arrogant, but I feel like I make this game look easier than it is. Alright, so I got stunned by the fire there, and the egg killed me. But that's probably karma for me sounding arrogant. We need that tomato, because when the egg kills you, it also dies. But when I first started playing this, I couldn't get a lot of these jumps, especially these little jumps down there. But nowadays I have like a rhythm that I follow to it. Jumping off those little pillars, though, it's very difficult if you don't know how to do it. Alright. So we'll go back down this way and get to the door. Oh boy. Not a big deal. Alright, 2 more levels. This one, there's quite a bit of opportunity to die here, but it looks like we're going to actually have a successful run, which is a relief. When I volunteered for this last night, I wasn't sure if I was actually going to even be able to complete the game. I haven't really played this since last winter, I don't think. Where did the bacteria go? I think it went through the teleporter, but I might have stunned it. Nope, didn't stun it. Oh boy. Four, five, six. Alright. There's actually a hidden one up behind the... I pointed at it. There's no webcam here. But, behind one of those, or in one of those inlets. Behind a hidden wall. This level was a bit tricky the first time I played it too, because it's not really obvious that you can go through this ceiling here. So now we're racing Chef Lenoir back up to the top. You'll see him teleport up, but easy peasy. The last level, in my opinion, was a little underwhelming, but it's not too dangerous and not too difficult, so 3. I didn't even bother grabbing the flower there. There aren't too many. I mean, there's usually 1 or 2 enemies you have to avoid here, but sometimes you get a good pattern like this and you don't have to really avoid much of anything. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Again, karma. Game wants to make me a liar. This jump here is a little tricky. You gotta just kind of hook around it. And with how the physics are and how the controls are, it's not always easy. That's the final door. Just go through a series of teleporters. And time. Oh, right on estimate, damn. Oh, so that's Out to Lunch. Again, very fun game. I would definitely give it a try. It's not the easiest to control though. And it starts off very trivially easy, but ramps up in difficulty once you start introducing the enemies and the contaminated food. But yeah, we're good to go. I appreciate the opportunity of being able to showcase this. I mean, I know it's not the best of games, but it sure is. It's fun for me. Yeah. Thank you all. So have a good day. Next up, we have Stu doing what is it? Super Mario Brothers 2 for Mario All Stars. That's one of my favorite games. So everyone enjoy, please. And thank you all.